Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so starting off, we'll go through membership. I appreciate that a few of you might already use these features in GMS, but we're just going to do a run through for anyone that isn't currently using them, and then also some quite significant changes for those of you that are already using memberships. So we have three different types of memberships within the system. The first being anniversary, which is a seasonal membership to run from, let's say, the 1st of September through to the 1st of September the following year. And then a join date membership, whereby the individual has a membership for a year from the date that they join. So if they joined on the 5th of September, that would then run to the 5th of the following September. So those memberships are one-off memberships, and the difference then is the subscriptions. So we have multiple different options within the system, but I'm going to focus on two types of subscription memberships today, as I believe these will sort of cover off most of the club scenarios. If there are any questions in the end and think what I've stated won't cover off what you need, just let us know. But as I said, we're going to focus on two of those today. So we have a whole list of different rules that can be configured for memberships. So these can offer things like family discounts, cap fees once a fee gets to a certain amount, and so forth. And then we have different discounts for membership types and roles. So coaches, for example, could get a specific discount on memberships, parents, and so forth. We've also then got restrictions. So restrictions around age, member, non-member, maximum number of membership of the same type of membership, for example. So there's flexible payment terms and price configuration. So we offer the option to pay in full or pay in monthly installments, which again, this we'll get a bit more into once we get to the subscription side of things, and actually into the setup in a little bit. And it also gives you a full price history of the schemes. So if you can look back on previous seasons and see all the price increases and so forth that you have done. The use of memberships is available for offline memberships. So not every club will put all their schemes available online. They might have one or two specific schemes that may be offline, and the majority of them then kept online. But there's no sort of commitment to those as well. So then we have finance. So simple setup. So there's no actual contract required. There's no merchant account set up. It supports multiple bank accounts. So we have some clubs who will use one bank account for their seniors, one for their mini and junior, one for their bar, and then one for their shop. And so we can cater to all of those and settle all the different products within GMS to those different accounts. And then we consolidate the settlements bi-weekly for both credit card and direct debits. There is a 1.95 transaction fee on all products that are taken through GMS. The only other fee that then arises is a 10p charge for any payments under £10. So there's no other sort of hidden card fees or monthly costs or anything like that. So this is an example of the inventory dashboard. As you can see here, it gives me a quick snapshot of some key bits of data. So I've got outstanding orders, collection failures, settlement amounts, and so forth. And then also a breakdown of my monthly transactions, cash, card, direct debit, card payment, etc. We now flip through then to the schemes. So this gives me a list of all my schemes that are currently active within GMS at this club. And a bit of key information, so number of payments that are available, duration, type, etc. So we come to then the setting up of the scheme. So this is an example of an anniversary scheme. Like I mentioned earlier, it will start on a specific date, and no matter when the individual joins that membership, they will have a membership to that exact same date the following year. So if I was to join on the 5th, I would have and this membership started on the 1st of the 9th, as it does, I would have that scheme up until the 1st of the 9th, 2019. So we've got a few different options here. So we've got the type of membership category. There are predetermined options here. So you fill these out with whichever is most necessary. There's also a description of the membership scheme, as well as a budget code, which links back to our multiple bank accounts, which we'll come back to a bit later on when we go through that in more detail. So we've then got the status of the membership. So the status, whether it's active or inactive, is it available to purchase online? So do you want to display it for your members to see it online? You've also got tax status on purchase, because this currently is set to active, but we have some schemes that may require action, such as some clubs will set up a student membership, which is set to pending approval, and therefore the individual will apply for this membership, and only once you have confirmed that they have the right requirements to purchase a scheme will they then actually be able to purchase it. And then we have the duration of this membership. So this one is clearly lasting for 1 year. And we have a joining fee. So some clubs will use a specific joining fee for specific schemes, and then also the price point here. You've got the purchase window and the pre-purchase window and the end purchase window. So the pre-purchase window is how far in advance of this scheme starting, am I able to purchase a scheme again? And then the end purchase window is applies to the current season, so when a month before the scheme ends. Before we move on here, so that's kind of covers off an example of the anniversary scheme. And as I said, the join date, they're both fairly similar in that they will purchase a scheme for that year. And then depending on the end date of that scheme will then just end. So the new subscription schemes that we've been working on and are going to go through today, the two options that we're going to go through at the minute is the yearly scheme, which basically means it is a one-off payment at the start of the year, which will then that membership will last for the entire year. And because that individual has input their direct debit details and signed up to be on a subscription, when it comes to the following year, that order will be created for them for the following year, and they won't have to go in and purchase a scheme again. It will automatically create an order and then take the direct debit from the member, so long as they currently still have an active direct debit. Should you make any changes to the scheme, such as price, they will be notified of the changes, and then we'll have the option to cancel their direct debit should they not want to continue further. And then we have the monthly subscription. This is where it will create a new order every single month. So it's similar to the old monthly subscriptions that we had previously. The changes that we have now implemented are different discounts around these. So on the last call that we did, we spoke to a lot of clubs around how they think they would like this sort of subscription membership to work. So this example here that we have in front of us, this membership starts on 1st of September 2024, and it's £100. We have a rule in here, so the membership term is for 12 months. So this scheme will run for the entire 12 months of the year. And we currently also have a 1-month cancellation notice period set up on this membership. Because our members won't be playing rugby during July and August, we are offering them a 100% discount on that scheme for those months. So you guys can set up the discounts to be on as many or as little months as you like. And what this means is that as the individuals aren't playing over the certain season and so forth, that will be discounted to the amount that you'd like. So you could discount the full amount, you could discount 50%. Again, these are all commercial decisions for you guys. And what that means is come September the following year, the scheme will then go back to its current price, not the discounted price, and then we'll just continue taking from there. This is just an example of the GMS membership purchase page. So it gives us a breakdown of all the available memberships to myself, along with any membership add-ons that we have set up within the system. So, for example, senior player kit deal on the right-hand side there. So what this will do is, if these are set up to different bank accounts, they will, even though they're all part of the same order, they will all be settled to the correct amount. So my memberships money will go to one account, and my senior player kit deal will go to the other. All these schemes can then be published on a GMS website, and it will take all the information from GMS, so it will populate all. So you don't have to go in and change any of these. You just have to make them available online. To create a website, within the finance section, there's a website setup. Once you select this button, you will then be asked to agree to terms and conditions and online payment charges, and then it will spin up a free template for you. This is just an example of the purchase flow within a mobile. Something that's coming fairly soon for the new season will be Apple and Google Pay. So members will be able to use their wallets and be able to purchase memberships through GMS that way as well. We then have the members dashboard. So this gives you a breakdown of all your members at the club, current statuses, schemes, etc. And all this information can then be drilled through. So for example, if I wanted to look at all my members that had a mini player RWB RFC membership, I could drill through to that, and that will present me with all those individuals. It will give me any outstanding balances, for example. And then within the right hand side, I can hit the chevron at the top, which will then drop down a filter section, so I can start building up queries. I may want to look at everyone between a specific age range, everyone who joined in a specific season, anyone who has outstanding balances, etc., etc. Then we have the settlement section within finance. So this gives us a breakdown of all the settlements that we settle to your club. It will break them down into direct debit settlements and also card payment settlements. Everything within these tables can be exported and then manipulated outside of the system. So this is an example of an export for a club. Here, so it will give you a breakdown of what was purchased, the individual, how much, and so forth. This then leads us through to the digital membership card. So this on the first two images are an example of two individuals who have paid for their membership online through GMS and therefore are being offered to add their digital membership card to their Apple or Google wallet. The final image is an example of it on an Apple phone. So the digital membership cards can obviously be used to identify members. It can also then be linked to other features within GMS. So you've got things like the point of sale. It can then be used to offer things like discounts on the bar. And obviously, because you're using GMS as one system, you then get the benefits of things like if an individual misses their monthly payment at the start of the month, when they go to scan the digital membership card at the bar, they won't be offered their discount due to their not being a current active member. And obviously, as soon as that is then rectified, they will then receive that discount accordingly. So that then brings us into point of sale. One of the key things about GMS is there's no limit to the number of layouts or the number of tills that you can use. So, for example, we have some clubs who have, say, 2-3 tills that are on their bar all year round. And then they may have 2 little tablets that they take outside for festivals that have a complete different layout on, look completely different, but are all part of the same system and only have specific products for that outside. We've then got an example of the staff sign-on. So there's multiple different ways to sign on. They can sign on using a digital membership card, PIN, swipe card, etc., etc. Then we've got this first image here on a tablet is just an example of the till layout that we've got set up for our club. And as you can see, we've got some categories here, such as bottled beers, draft beers, etc. And then we're adding up to our order. On the second version of more of a till version, we can see that we've identified an individual as a member, which is also showing us our discounts that we're receiving due to being a member and at that till. We've then got a breakdown of all sorts of reporting for this. So categories, amount of products sold, tax, etc., etc. And all of these can then be imported into financing packages. So should be very easy to manage going forward. We do the majority of the setup for clubs in terms of the tills and the layouts and so forth, but you guys have full access to manage all of this by yourself as well. So, for example, you can go on one day, and if you need to add a new button or if you want to change the color of a button and so forth, you guys can manage all of that yourself. We also then, the same goes for the product management. So for example, we can, I did say our supplier puts up our costs of wines. We can then pass that on by identifying all the wines within the system, select them all, and give them a percentage increase, rounded up to the nearest 5p on the 28th of this month. I then save that, and that will just update all our wines within the system for us. This then brings us back to the multi-bank accounts we discussed at the start. So as I mentioned, we've got this example of a club who has a senior, junior, commercial, and main bank account set up in the system. So there are currently 4 available to clubs in the system, and what we do is we create budget codes within the system. So in doing this, we then determine which budget codes settle to which account. And this is just an example here then of us creating different budget codes. So we give them a name, a description if needed, and the budget code itself. And then we select which account type that settles to. That then means when we're creating product categories, we then create category names and again set them to their default budget code. So that everything gets settled to the right accounts. These can be overwritten if you have an exceptions to the rule, but generally this is the way that those are created. There's we can see when we go to create things like memberships, products, etc. We get offered this option of the budget code here, and this will all be populated with the default options that we have set up. When it comes to settlements, the account names are all displayed along the side here. So if you do have more than one account, you can start building up queries should you only want to look at one specific account within your settlements, for example. You can filter on that on the grids. And again, that will also display on any of the exports that you use within the system for you as well. So that then brings us to any questions.
There's a couple of questions around membership cards in the comments, Dan.
Okay, so I mean, does anyone want to answer questions out loud? Well, we'll review these ones and get what we plan to do is any that are in the chat, we will get send out to clubs with answers to. But if there's any that anyone would like,
I'm just responding on the digital membership card one, so can read through it. But basically, I was just saying the QR code identifies the RFU ID of the individual. So if that's updated and stored in your external point of sale, then in theory it could be used with that. But you'd have to discuss that with your provider, and obviously you'd have to maintain that RFU ID inside the external EPOS system. If you're using membership in GMS, then point of sale products automatically, you can set discounts that automatically know whether or not somebody's a member, and therefore it's all tightly integrated. But certainly it is possible to use it with an external EPOS.
Andy, I can see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So we currently use PassKit to provide digital membership cards. Now I can set up that how that card looks. I've designed a card for a valid member, which is one color, and then I'm able to go into the PassKit app and alter that membership status from paid to unpaid for a default payer, and then it displays a different color card. So in your demo, you showed that if somebody's not paid their membership, then they won't get any discounts at the EPOS system. But is a kind of comparable option available with this one from GMS that just it identifies a defaulted payer. So someone whose membership's failed, they sit in the suspended bank in GMS. Does their membership screen change automatically?
No, I currently no, not at the minute. It's this is obviously the first season that the digital membership card has been released. So it is something that we potentially look at for feedback going forward. But as at the minute, no, they wouldn't be. It wouldn't change their color or anything like that. Obviously, all of that information can be found within GMS and memberships. So you could go to memberships and search for the by the status as lapsed, for example. That will give you a list of all those individuals that would currently be lapsed. But no, it wouldn't be something that is currently would change color per the change of status. Nicola?
Just a supplementary to the previous question. So we were going to use our digital membership card for sponsors who have made offerings to our members. So go into the bar, into their bar, and flash a membership, and you can get a discounted drink at the bar. A similar question about if someone has lapsed their payment. If you can then change their status to non-member because they've lapsed, would that remove the digital card?
I'll have to confirm and come back to you on that one. I'm not sure off the top of my head on that one. So I will follow up with you directly and let you know on that one.
No, it's definitely it's something that we're just looking to add in terms of what a change of status that's online to force that through to the card in the wallet. So it's a feature that's not there at the moment, but it will be there.
Thank you.
Simon?
Hi, Dan. All the discounts, can each discount rule have a percentage discount as well as a monetary value? Because some have one, some have the other. That's quite frustrating at the moment.
Yeah, we've actually done some significant changes along with the with this whole change to subscriptions. So yes, it will you'll be able to offer all discount or percentage for each individual role.
Okay, thanks.
Simon, your specific one there is roles, isn't it? Like coach roles, a percentage discount on a role.
Coach roles or roles or other membership types normally. So if you've got existing membership, then of a certain type, then you may want to get a discount on another membership you're buying.
So you're selling secondary memberships off the basis of a core one, are you?
Yeah. We're looking at doing it both ways. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
And sorry, I'll put my hand up again. Sorry for the next one. Don't worry.
Go ahead, Tommy, while you're there.
I was going to say, if a direct debit fails, does a member actually get an email saying that it's actually failed? Because
yes, they do. Yes,
no one's been answered that question for me before.
they do get an email saying it has failed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Simon, I think your concern about that is though, even though the member might get that message, you're not getting alerted to the fact that the member has had that email. Is that correct?
True. That's correct. Yep.
So I think that's something we can just look at, see the best way to make sure. Obviously, we don't want to tell you every time, or potentially we do, but certainly look at a way that you are notified that X number of members have been told their payment failed, other than just going to a GMS dashboard.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously quite often the automated emails fall into junk and they don't ever see them. So quite often, you end up writing to them yourself. So if there was an automated email, you could reply to it and hopefully they'll actually get the reply. We found that works with membership emails quite often.
Just a quick question: would you want to be CC'd on every one of those?
I think it'd be a good option for clubs to have. Yes. No, we don't get a lot of them, but DD failures, thankfully. But when we do, obviously, we need to resolve them as soon as possible.
Okay.
And that probably improve the members' experience. 'Cause obviously, they wouldn't go to the bar and find they can't get discount anymore if we sort of proactively tackled them on it.
Nicola, did you have another question? Sorry.
Yes, I do. On the subscriptions, the new subscription membership, if there was a change in membership fee, or any kind of change to the amount of money taken, would at each point the member be notified by email for any change to that membership?
Yeah, they would have to legally for the direct debit. Yes.
Lovely. Thank you.
Jeff?
Hiya. Yeah, a couple of questions really. We use currently the Eat 17 app for members to both put money on their account straight from their bank and purchase beverages over the bar. From that purchase, they get a receipt, and obviously we can pick up from that receipt behind the bar on the POS we're using at Cardiff. Does yours do the same? Give both them an email receipt and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so long as they're identified at the till as being a member, it will show in the individual's transactions within the top right hand menu icon. They can look back at all their previous purchases, and that will give them a list of everything that they've purchased within the system. So obviously included things in on the till. But if for whatever reason you needed to send, for example, you wanted to send an invoice through the system or proof of payment, the club could then manually send that to the individual as well via their email if they wanted it on the email.
Okay, so we also have scanners on each of our tills. Would they work against the membership, the membership side of GMS? So could they go to the bar with a QR code and purchase from there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'd have to just check the specifications and of the QR scanners and so forth. But yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
And the last thing, you're not going to hate me for this one, is the when you look at the membership card on the front page of your account, what is that QR code going to do? We had this discussion before. You're going to try and find out for us.
Yeah, so currently all it is displaying the RFU ID. So if it's not linked, if you're not using the GMS within memberships and so forth on point of sale, it's not going to do much for you at the minute. It's just an identifier. But yeah, that is obviously something we can pick up on, and if we go into a bit more detail if you need.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Simon?
A couple more things, please. Part year memberships. So we have a membership which runs for our Summer Touch Rugby, which runs from the 1st of April to the end of September. But there doesn't seem to be an easy way to do that in GMS.
Yes, so as I mentioned, so as I mentioned, I focused on two today, the yearly and monthly. But there are other options in there. So we have a subscription that runs every 6 months. So for example, that might be able to cater to what you're looking for. And then you could offer it to them be we could set up rules against that it's discounted for the second 6 months. So that would cater to
Yeah, but if it's kind of for the second 6 months, wouldn't that make them a member for the second 6 months of the year? Because technically they're not a member, so not entitled to members' benefits.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, sorry, I was under the impression that they should be entitled to those benefits as well.
No. Yeah. For the 6 months from April to September, they're entitled to the benefits, but after that, they're not a member. Because it's only a Summer Touch Rugby membership.
What I would say, Simon, is if you want to send us that one directly, and we can take a look at the best way to set that one up and let you know.
Okay, brilliant. And I had a sort of second part of the question relates to the summer rugby really, because obviously there's not a lot happens over the summer normally, but it'd be nice to get notifications individually when someone actually joins, rather than having to wait for the weekly email then drill through. Obviously, in the main season, I wouldn't want a notification, whenever someone joined. But sort of out of season, when someone joins, it'd be good to get a notification, so you're not having to go to GMS and constantly check for new memberships being taken out.
Okay, so you want an email out of season because you won't be in GMS all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting.
It's almost so you can then decide. I want to turn on notifications now for for memberships.
Okay.
Because I normally look at GMS probably 2 or 3 times a day, but but the last couple of months since the season's ended, probably once every couple of weeks, probably, and then find someone's joined.
How slack are you now, Simon?
I know, but I have a bit of a breather every now and again, but it'd be nice. Not going to get some sort of push push notification. So we do our normal stuff with those members.
Yeah. So I'm just going back to your previous one with the 6-month membership or the summer membership. Would that then also, because one of the things that GMS obviously does is allow you to build up fairly complicated membership structures to offer discounts, i.e. buy one get one free type discounts and family discounts and set values for a set number of family members, but they're generally they work because they're across the same period of time generally.
Right.
Would these be completely isolated, or would you potentially be buying a main membership alongside a summer membership, and therefore certain discounts should follow?
Tend to be totally separate, really. We get a different sort of person coming in for the summer rugby. We don't tend to be existing members. Existing members sort of get it by default, really, and it's just a ad hoc person that comes along who wants to sort of join in with rugby.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
And anyone else, or is that all for tonight? Jeff?
Yeah, very quickly. We already have swipe cards, which I tried to get rid of, but they're coming back, which we had created, and they have got unique numbers to them, digital numbers. Is there any way of reutilizing those cards? Because we've got blue ones, we've got gold ones for sponsors, that sort of thing. Is there any way in GMS we can utilize those cards? Hundreds of them.
Yeah, I mean, we basically what we'd need is you to send us one of them to just check that it works. But we're basically, I think it's all bar one club that we've has joined on our point of sale. We've reused cards for them and to make sure they use all their old ones.
Oh, fantastic! Well, that'd be good news. Thanks for that.
No worries.
I think you've silenced the crowd, Dan. If we have no further questions.
I just one more thing. I just saw, Jeff, I saw your thing about the I think it's your comment. Is there a storage limit on the website?
Yeah. Years ago when I worked with the RFU, there was a storage limit on the website. Our club tends to have a history of the kids going through. We've got about 350 minis, and we have a record. It's their history, basically. And when they get to youth, we have a big day for them. And but we were finding it difficult to use the GMS website because of the storage issue.
That was a long time ago, was it?
Yeah.
So before it was actually the GMS websites, before GMS probably, like a Rugby First style website, was it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So there isn't a storage limit at the moment. I would probably say not yet, because I think what we see is most clubs using it quite reasonably. But obviously, if clubs start uploading massive video files or massive images, there's going to be some level of having to contain that to some degree, because it doesn't make any sense for the club either to be downloading huge images via a website. So there aren't any restrictions at the moment, and I think from what you said, there'd be no restrictions in terms of numbers of people or number of players. It's purely around media. So, but most clubs are very sensible about the way they upload those files, because they know that ultimately someone's got to go and download them again from the website. So huge files don't make much sense. But yeah, there might need to be a cap at some point just to stop silly things happening.
Tone?
So I was on mute. It'd be quite useful to actually have some idea of the POS offerings and the costs without having to actually get involved in a proper sales call. Because
Yeah,
at the moment, clubs haven't got any idea whether it's hundreds of pounds a month, thousands of pounds. No idea whatsoever what sort of region you're in. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of different offerings and sort of add-ons about PDQs and so forth and costs. So what I would say is, if anyone is interested in that, just literally drop a note in here. We can have a quick 2-minute call and we can go through sort of what you're looking for, and then give you an option. It doesn't have to be a big sort of demo or sales call. It's just a quick conversation and we can go from there.
how's it best to contact you guys?
I would say via our I'll put it in the chat here, but the club payments email. So
Club
club
payments, yeah.
payments at first-sports.com.
Okay.
And then if you just send anything through to there, or anything you don't think has been answered either today, and then we'll follow up with you.
Okay, thank you.
Just put that in the chat now. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for your time this evening. We will be sending some follow-ups, and if there's any questions unanswered, we'll get those answered as well, and then follow up with a link as well. If there's anything that you need from us, please just let us know.
Thanks for your time, everyone.
Thanks, then.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, bye.